Day 13 of the New You for the New Year Success Challenge. Dr. Herbert Harris here. Welcome to the New You for the New Year 21-Day Challenge. I challenge you to use the New You for the New Year Success Bundle this first month of the year to set yourself up for health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money throughout the year. Get the New You for the New Year Success Bundle now at www.herbertharris.info. That's www.herbertharris.info. Every day for 21 days, I will share a success training to help you start this year strong. Watch the daily trainings on Facebook at Life Vision TV and DR Success Man. And now, the success training for today. Our topic for today is handling rejection. And all of our topics are based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And we're pulling from a number of chapters, the chapter on relationships, the chapter on vision, the chapter on the law of command, what you speak about, how you talk about yourself. Also, want to thank you for joining us this morning. Many of you who have enrolled in our home study course, available on our website, www.herbertharris.com, and welcome you to the experience today. So this topic today is one that I've been really feeling, and I think a lot of us have been feeling it at the same time. Overcoming rejection, handling rejection. You know, there's almost nothing positive you can say about rejection in a sense. You know, when we look at the definition of rejection, to refuse to take, to disagree, to discard. And even the synonyms are all negative: worthlessness, self-hate, negative behaviors. So rejection on a surface can be looked at as something negative. But one of the things we're going to be sharing today is that rejection is in fact something very positive. Rejection is a tool to help you get better. When we look at rejection, there's also that sense of it causes pain. And it causes fear. Our opening quote today is one that says, everyone's number one need is acceptance, and everyone's greatest fear is rejection. I'll say that again. Everyone's greatest need is acceptance, and everyone's greatest fear is rejection. So this puts everything in context. People naturally want to be accepted. People naturally want to be loved and respected by other people. People naturally don't like being rejected, don't like being turned away, don't like being that feeling of being unloved. So let's look at this rejection. Let's analyze it a little bit. There are two aspects of rejection. There's what I like to call the active aspect. And this is really rejection based on expectation, where we literally have expectations for another person. We think about, we do something, we put ourselves out there. We may start a relationship and people don't respond the way we thought they should. And that's like an active sense of rejection. You did something and the response to what you've done is not what you expected, and so you don't feel great about it. It creates a pain inside. It creates a discomfort, because anytime your expectations are not met, it's not pleasant. The other side of rejection is what I call passive rejection. And this is rejection that you feel that you really had nothing to do with creating it. Rejection that comes from the outside. I'll give an example. Abandonment. Sometimes people feel abandoned. Children, maybe because of whatever their situation was, they felt abandoned by their parents. So now they have a sense of rejection for something that they didn't do. So that passive rejection is often based on somebody else's feelings, or really your response to somebody else's feelings. And that feeling of abandonment can come about even if there's no strong relationship. It's almost an automatic thing that whenever your psyche feels cut out from something. There was an experiment done at some people were in a train station. Two people had a ball and they were throwing the ball back and forth between them. They noticed a third man standing over there. They didn't know him. So one of the two threw the ball to the third man. He caught it and he threw it back to the other person. And so for a while, the three of them were throwing the ball around between them. Never had a conversation, anything, just throwing the ball. Then the first two stopped throwing the ball to the third person. That third person felt a sense of rejection. He didn't know the people. He'd never seen them before, had no relationship with them, but just that activity can create that sense of rejection. So since rejection is a lot based on your perception, how you see things to be. Welcome, Kenya. Thanks for joining us today. How you see things to be. So in that example, the third person, although they had no relationship with the first two, he developed a relationship of like the tossing the ball around. And once that relationship changed, even though there was no hurt, there was a sense of hurt in that third person. So one of the key things about rejection is that sense of expectation, that so many times you do things with an expectation of return and you don't get the expected results when you've done it. Now, this is interesting because this is a failure to meet expectations that you really did not have control over, in a sense. So you extend yourself to a person. They don't respond in the way you thought they should. And then you respond to their lack of response, or you respond to their response. And so literally the rejection there you have is almost created by you. This person did not do what you thought they should do. And now you feel rejected because of what they did not do. They did not meet your expectations. And when that happens, things like that can make you doubt yourself, can pull you off the track. But we have to reframe that idea of rejection. So we extend ourselves to a person. They don't respond in the way we thought they should. We can feel rejection, or we can reframe it. We can reframe it and say, hey, that person didn't know who I am. They didn't know all the good qualities that I have. And so now that rejection can be looked at as a way of making room. Okay, that this person didn't respond to you in a way that you thought, and you should take that as a lesson now. And the lesson is that ain't the right person. And this you should move on. So rejection can really be looked at as a realization that there's something better for you. Ash Sweeney had a great quote, and it says, rejection doesn't mean that you aren't good enough. It often means the other person failed to notice what you have to offer. Now that's a powerful reframing. I'm going to say that again because I really want us to make a note of that. Rejection does not mean that you're not good enough. It means that the other person failed to notice what you have to offer. Wow. And that's a profound thought, folks. How many times are we interacting with people who don't have the capacity to respond in the way we expect them to? In this sense, we can use rejection now almost as a pruning mechanism. Once they responded in that way, you realize, aha, I know who you are. I know what you're about, and I can act accordingly. So let's look at this now. Let's take some step-by-step methods for how to handle rejection. Number one, got to face it. If you don't face the rejection, you know, there are people that when they're rejected, they pretend that it didn't happen. They ignore it. They go into a state of total denial. And what happens is they stay locked in that state. They can stay tied up in that situation forever. You know, I've seen relationships where people break up for whatever reason, where one person blames the other for the breakup, but they never face it. They keep thinking the other person's going to come back. Every time they get an opportunity, we were at a class reunion once, and someone came back that I remember years ago, they had a relationship, and you could still see the tension because that person never faced the fact that the rejection had taken place. So step one in handling rejection is to face it, and to face it with a new frame of reference. A frame of reference that says, it's not about you, it's about the other person. And so when a person rejects you and you face it, you say, aha, they don't know who I am. They don't know the value I bring to the relationship. They don't know all of the positive things that I have. And that this person was just not meant for you. Sonia Parker said something powerful. She said, rejection is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that they are wrong for you. Let's unpack that for a minute. Rejection is not a sign that something is wrong for you. It is a sign that that person is wrong for you. So when you experience that feeling of rejection from another person, don't frame it as something to undermine you, but it's like, aha, this is somebody I don't need to be with. Welcome, my classmate, Lundy Monroe. Thanks for joining us. So this is really a profound statement, folks. Once you can face it and realize that, hey, this rejection is really to let me know that that's not the person for me. Number two, the second way to handle rejection is to move on. Don't get stuck in it. The best way that you can handle rejection is to move on with the mindset there's something better for you. That this person who came into your space, into your life, was not the right one. And now that they've shown you who they are, move on. Do something better. I often tell, one of my teachers used to tell the story of a lady who was very deeply in love with this man, and they all worked together. And one day, her man ran off with her best friend. And my goodness, the lady was devastated. I mean, he ran off and he knew he was wrong. He didn't even come back to get his clothes. His clothes were still in the lady's apartment, and they were there staring in the face. And Move On said if she kept those clothes there, hoping he was going to come back, she'd stay stuck. But Move On says, you know what? Clean that closet out. His actions have shown me that he's not the right one for me. It has nothing to do with whether I'm good enough. It's that he's not the right one for me. And let me clean out that closet. In our Fantastic Friday, Sade was sharing an idea that sometimes in life you have to take out the garbage. You know, in your home, when you have stuff in your house and it's not supposed to be there, whatever its usefulness is gone, it's garbage. If you don't take it out, it'll start stinking. And so this idea of moving on, that whenever you experience rejection, reframe it and move on. Get out of there. Number 3, when you've gone through a rejection, treat yourself well. Focus on the best that you are. Focus on your assets. You know, when you've experienced rejection, really have that thought, this person does not know what they've lost. And then move on. Treat yourself well. Talk about your good points. Talk about your assets. Visualize the good things about yourself. You see, once you put that frame of reference there, then it doesn't hurt anymore. Now it's like, thank goodness, it's a revelation. I've gotten this garbage out of my house. Number 4, you get out of the house. When you have experienced a rejection, it's clear that the people don't know who you are. It's clear that they're not the person for you, but you have to do something. You know, activity is an amazing power, that when you take an active step in changing things, that's a confirmation that you've changed your mindset. Action confirms your thoughts. And so get out of the house, go meet some new people, go see some new things, go to some concerts, go to some events. Remember that the world is very interesting. That there are tons of interesting people out there. This just wasn't the one. Now you're free to go find the right ones. Number 5, love yourself more. When you love yourself more, that creates a positive vibration. That self-image, that how you see yourself, that how you relate to yourself creates a vibration now, and it attracts into your space the things that are important to you, the things that confirm who you are. Many times we subconsciously radiate vibrations that pull people into our life that we don't want to know, that we don't need to know, that we shouldn't know, that will hurt us if we let them stay around. And it may be something based on a past hurt, or past trauma, past things. That when you start to love yourself more, you create a vibration now that attracts different people. You know, the interesting thing is that when you love yourself more, it changes how you look. You know, when you leave your house in the morning, you look in the mirror, you're like, my goodness, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, I feel good, I look good. It's not an ego trip, it's a confirmation that you feel good about yourself. When you walk out, you'll walk differently. I represented once a guy who was what he called a pickpocket. And he said, you rarely ever get caught. So why is that? He said, well, because you watch a person, you can kind of tell who will let you rob them, who won't put up any resistance, who will give you whatever you ask them. Like, wow. So if you're sending out a vibration where you keep meeting negative people, change that vibration, you'll meet new people. And finally, the best way to handle rejection is the promise that you will never let rejection control you again. That whatever happens in your life, you will always be able to reprogram it, reframe it so that it's good for you. I've heard a phrase that says, love hurts. That's not true. Loneliness may hurt. Rejection may hurt, but love doesn't hurt. Be careful of how we speak about the good things about ourselves. In reality, love is the one thing that can cover up the pain. Love is the one thing that can erase the hurt. So be careful about our language when we use, especially the word love. One of the limitations of the English language, I think, evidently love is not that important in our culture. We say it is, but it's mainly lip service. When you go to the Eskimo culture, and snow has, I think, about 25 or 26 different definitions. Soft snow, hard snow, slippery snow. Because it's important, they need to know the type of snow because it can help them, it can save them. In our country, in our consciousness, love is a word that we toss around. And so love does not hurt. Loneliness hurts. Rejection hurts. Love yourself and promise yourself you will never be impacted by rejection again. So now let's look at moving forward. We understand now how to handle it. How do we begin to set ourselves up so that we can, rejection will never impact us? You know, it's important to look at the business arena. I'm a network marketer, an entrepreneur. And one of the things about business is sales. Okay, the essence of business is sales. They're selling something. Amazon says every business is selling something. And that means that if you're selling something, there's always that possibility of rejection. You might be selling something and people don't buy it. Okay, go to the next person. And so in business, for example, let's look at some of the keys. One of the great ones in network marketing was a fellow named Bill Britt. And Bill Britt, over 25, 35 years anyway, when he finally made his transition, his residual income was about $6 million a year. And someone said, well, what's the secret? How did you accomplish that? And he said, I did 1,200 presentations, and a presentation is a full-scale treatment of whatever that business is about. You know, if you're a realtor, presentation is a full showing of a house with all its features and benefits. He said, I did 1,200 presentations. 900 people said no. So now, if you look at rejection from that point of view, you could form a rejection-based mindset and never do another presentation in life. But the essence of business is what we call numbers. Life is all about numbers. So 900 people said no, but 300 people said yes. And of the 300 people who said yes, 85 of them did a little something. Of the 85 who did a little something, 35 of them got rich, made a lot of money. Of the 35 who made a lot of money, 11 of them made Bill Britt a millionaire. So 1 in 100. And so when we look at relationships, everybody, it's all about numbers. If you go through a whole series of relationships, you're going to find the right one sooner or later. So to recognize, I like to think of it something we call Sin law, safety in numbers, and the law of averages. So in relationships, look at the numbers. When you meet people who are not good to you, reframe your thinking, learn from it, and then go to the next person. Key in business, focus on your why, your long-term goals. In business, when you have rejections, you can either quit or you can hang in there. Very often people will come into a business, they'll be excited. It's just like a relationship. They're excited about a new person, excited about a new business. And they go out and they talk to 5 or 6 people who say no, and they go like, oh, I'm quitting. Well, the same thing happens in relationships. You get all excited about it, and then you go down the road and you find out the person is not who you thought they were. The way to overcome that is in business is numbers and focusing on your why. So in business, when things don't work out, you say to yourself, next. When people say no to your opportunity, you say next and go to the next person. Because in your mindset, you know, in business, there's a why. The reason that you're in this business is because, for example, you want to create financial security for you and your family. You want to send your kids to the school of their choice. You want to live a certain kind of way. And so it's that why, that desire that keeps you in there so that you go through the numbers. In life, when you experience rejection, it's your why. Focus on your goals, focus on your vision, so that these little temporary setbacks, these disappointments, these rejections don't impact you. You know that they're bringing you a step closer to the yes, to the goal. Number 3, in business, we say, don't take it personally. When people reject your business opportunity, you say to yourself, hey, they're not rejecting me as a business person, they're rejecting the business. I'm just the messenger telling them how good the business is. So in life, when you experience rejection, don't take it personally. That person just wasn't ready for you. That person, you know, sometimes we'll meet people who have a gallon of love to give. interacting with a person who only has the capacity to receive a pint of love. And so this relationship is always going to be out of whack. The giver is always going to be giving extra love, which is not going to be received. That person with that pint capacity, all they're going to be able to experience and receive is that they're conscious of. And so don't take it personally. You say, okay, I'm trying to give a gallon of love to a person who only has the capacity for a pint. Let me find a new person. Let me go to the next. Then the fourth key for success in business is to get a routine. The people, the great ones, are always able to, I'll make 10 calls a day, each and every day. That's 50 calls a week. That's 200 calls a month. So in life, when you experience rejection, you get to your routine. Routinely go out to experience new things. Routinely push yourself out to make and meet new people. So this business analogy in helping us handle rejection is a profound tool. So now let's begin our wrap up, the keys to overcome rejection. What are the tips that you can use to keep you from being a slave to rejection? Number one, pay attention. People always tell you who they are. For whatever reason, we may ignore it. For whatever reason, we may have such a strong fear of loneliness that we'll accept anybody with 2 legs and breathing. Pay attention and assess the intent of the other person. Young lady was very successful in her business, and she met a man who, let's just say, I'll just speak, who had not achieved his full potential. She owned a home. She had a business. She was doing well. And his intent, he had never owned a home. He'd never owned a car. He worked all his life. Not that it's a bad thing, but just that's who he was. But she was so fearful of being alone that she permitted him to come into her home, to move in and bring nothing. Well, you know how the story ended. You know, it didn't end well. So she never paid attention to his intent and who he really was. So number one, pay attention. People always tell you who they are. Number two, listen better. People are speaking all the time. They're speaking in their words. They're speaking in their actions. They're speaking in the way they carry themselves. Someone often said, if you want to tell the quality of a man, check out how he treats his mom or his sisters. Listen better. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Because they'll be telling you. They'll be for sure telling you who they are over and over and over, and especially in their actions. You know, even the words may deceive, but the actions reveal. Number three, always reframe the rejection. So when a person rejects you for whatever reason, reframe it to say, hey, this person doesn't understand who I am. They really don't know the things that I bring to the equation, the value that I could add to their lives. And then act accordingly. Once you realize that, like, I'm out of here. Don't keep trying to teach turkeys how to fly. A turkey is not going to fly. The nature of being a turkey is to peck and work around on the ground and do what they do, not flying. You can't make a turkey into an eagle. So reframe the rejection, but learn from it. Make every rejection a learning experience, a motivating experience to help you be better. Number four, use that rejection to help you improve, to help you grow. So now when a situation comes about, a rejection situation, instead of being upset, say like, what's the lesson I'm supposed to learn from this? Steve Harvey said, don't get a serious relationship with anybody until you've known them for 90 days, because over 90 days, the real person will come out. So use that rejection as a way to say, okay, what's the lesson I'm supposed to learn? Never let the rejection be a referendum on who you are and who you feel and how you feel about yourself. The rejection is always about the lesson, the instruction. And then finally, the key to really overcoming objection, the fifth key, is to keep moving. To realize that life is a constant evolution of growth, a constant evolution of experience, that you will constantly meet new people, have new experiences. And so when you have that positive attitude that I add value to anything I interact with, that puts a whole new vibration on who you are, and you'll attract different people into your space. Whew. So let's just take a little breather today. This idea of handling rejection, this topic really was resting on my spirit because I see so many times that we let rejection define us. The rejection say who we are not and what we are not and what we do not have. That we let rejection undermine our ability, our faith in ourselves. So let's summarize what we've covered this morning. How do you handle rejection? Number one, face it. Number two, move on past it. Number three, treat yourself well, focusing on your good stuff. Number five, get out the house, get off the porch, go meet new people, new experiences. That's number four, get out the house. Number five, love yourself more. And then number six, promise that you will never let fear of rejection control your life. Look at that business analysis, comparison. Business is about number. Life is about numbers. If you don't get out and expose yourself to more, you can meet the same people. If you don't change your vibration inside, you can attract the same people. So realize it's a numbers game. Focus always on your why, your purpose, your goals. What's important to you. Let that be the judge of all the relationships that you have. Whatever it is, don't take it personally. When people hurt you, don't take it personally. It's their loss. And then number four, get into a routine. That the more life that you can create by routine, the greater your vibration. People begin to expect you to be where you are supposed to be. You'll find that you'll meet more people who say, I see you come to the museum often. Are you into art? You go to certain places, you create a routine in your life that helps your vibration. And then finally, the keys to overcome rejection. Number one, pay attention. People always tell you who they are. Number two, listen better. Listen intently to the other person's intentions. Number three, reframe the objection so that it becomes a life lesson to help you be better. Number four, use that rejection to help you improve, to always ask, what could I do better? How can I improve the situation? And then number five, keep moving, keep growing and going. That life is an evolutionary experience. It's never static. The one constant in life is that it always changes. When you can do these things, then you can use rejection as a tool to help you be what you want to be, to help you do what you want to do, and to help you have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. So it is. Let's just take a deep breath for a moment. Let it out. Thank you so much for being with us today. Those of you who are watching on Instagram and on Facebook, please visit our website, herbertharris.com, www.herbertharris.com, and fill out the contact sheet. Send us some questions about what's bothering you in your life, what's causing pain in your life. herbertharris.com, fill out the contact sheet, and write to us what's bugging you. What challenge would you like help in changing and transforming your life? Once again, Dr. Herbert Harrison, thanks for being with us this Saturday morning for Success Mentorship class number 219, Handling Rejection. Make it a great week. See you next Saturday. Same time, same station. So it is. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, author of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, inviting you to join me on a personal success journey. This journey is sponsored by the New You for the New Year Success Bundle. This is a special bundle of over $250 in digital products to help you achieve outrageous success this year. It includes the 12 Universal Laws of Success ebook, and that's the electronic version of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. It includes the 12 Universal Laws of Success audiobook. Over 6 hours of recorded information. It's the book on tape. You can listen to it in your car, in your bed, wherever you are. It also includes the complete New You for the New Year Home Study Guide. Now, this is a transformational home study course to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. It comes with a study guide and a workbook and a number of audios, how to study, how to assess your present situation, how to make life changes, how to set new goals and objectives, how to make an action plan and a blueprint for your success. In addition to these things, you get the 12 Universal Laws of Success workbook, so that as you read the book, you can fill in the answers and it will help you retain the information. You also get a live recording of a seminar on the 12 Universal Laws of Success that you can listen to, and it will be just like you're there. There's also a wealth building and trying times audio to help you have more money at the end of the month. The audio on the law of command will help you use your power of speech to create the world exactly the way you want it to be. And the 12 affirmations to live by poster, so that you can reprogram your mind, reprogram your thoughts to be exactly what they need to be to create success. And how much does it cost? Over $250 in bonuses for $77. That's $77 for you, to help you achieve health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. That's right, $77 to help you create the new you in this new year. Go to our website, www.herbertharris.info, to learn more and buy now. www.herbertharris.info. Thank you.